There is one most important question that every Malaysian want to ask.
What?
Can you save李梓嘉?
Can I save李梓嘉?
What happened to him?
I give you one suggestion. Strictly do the PJ class.
Why people don't do PE?
Because the mathematics teacher will
Always take the lesson, follow the lesson, and never
Yeah.
return.
Really? In school? We'll have to discuss with KPM to make sure that pendidikan jasmani PE lesson means you must really go out there and exercise and sweat it out.
PE class.
今天我们的主角是青体部的 Hannah 杨巧双，带上我们提神的 CEO Latte 一起监督他的工作吧。
Yeah, welcome our YB Hannah Yeoh. Hannah Yeoh, yeah.
杨巧双
Oh,
The youth and sport.
The Cantonese 講廣東話。
我嘅廣東話冇進步嘅。
多謝你啊，因為你肯用廣東話嚟。
我 not bad 啦，我係 Cantonese 嘅。
識聽唔識講啊？
第一題，馬嚟嘅女仔面對乜柒問題？乜運
No improvement.
So we'll use in English.
Okay,
so
can.
more audience can understand.
Yeah.
There is one most important question that every Malaysian want to ask.
Okay.
You know what is it?
What?
Can you save李梓嘉?
Can I save李梓嘉?
What happened to him?
I think it's normal for athletes to go up and down.
Alright.
But I think what's most important for L'Cijah now is to resume his training with a coach. So the Road to Gold committee has already decided that L'Cijah will still remain in our Road to Gold committee until the next review. And the next review is coming up in September. The committee will wait to meet his new coach and also meet L'Cijah lah.
Yeah.
Will he join the Asian game then? Not sure yet.
That one we have to wait lah. Yes.
Everyone under control, okay?
Okay, be patient. Alright. The first question
Okay.
You want to ask what is the job scope of the youth and sport department?
Actually, we're respective for the youth.
Yeah, Ministry of Youth and Sports, we of course look after sports development, and then we also look after the youth portfolio. So youth is about 30% of Malaysian population, so we're looking at 9 million young people.
What are the age for youth?
Okay, so at the moment we are looking at 15 to 30 years old.
Okay.
Our target group that we look after lah.
I'm still young.
Yeah. In the last 6 months, one of the reforms that we have made is actually to enlist all the latest sports into our Akta Pembangunan Sukan. So you see, the Akta Pembangunan Sukan will list out what is sports, what type of sports. So like last time was about 50 over list. Now we have doubled it to 103 type of sports. So e-sukan, e-sports is now inside.
Oh, e-sports also sport. They just move their finger.
Yes. Sports. Yeah, stacking. So all the different type of sports are all now listed. You know, breakdance. Breakdance is now in Olympic.
Oh, I see.
Yes, this coming one in Paris.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so times have changed, and that's why now the group of stakeholders that we have to look after are also growing. So that's why we have to move together with the changes that are happening around us, and also for the youth portfolio. So this coming Sunday is very interesting because the Prime Minister will launch Rakan Muda again. It's a relaunch with new Gaya Hidup.
What is
that?
How young are you? Rakan Muda back in 1990s, activities created to help youth occupy their time productively with healthy activities. So back then, before handphone, before gadget, we have what we call the budaya lepak. That means you don't do anything, you don't study, everything. So every time in the TV you hear young people jangan lepak, don't lepak. So now we are bringing back Rakan Muda, but with new activities that will be relaunched this coming Sunday.
E-sport.
E-sport is a sport, except it.
Yes. Oh, so your job is actually ask me to do exercise lah.
But you see,
Can I say
Lucas, you know the esports one. One of the first emails I received as the Minister of Youth and Sport is from a parent to tell me, please do not promote esports because they say a lot of young people are addicted to the gadget. So what we have just
王者荣耀，哎呀。
What we have just done, we have just produced a guideline. We have launched a guideline. It's called NESTEC. The guidelines actually spell out the code of ethics about esports and how you want to protect children also. We should not be like, you know how people say, okay, because there is excessive use of this, so we ban the whole thing. No. You know, it's moderate use, and also if they are guided correctly, then you know it can help them. SEA Games, Malaysia won silver medal for esports. Yeah. So really, there are a lot of young people involved in esports. You like it or not, it's already here.
Alright.
So we must make sure that we create a safe space for them to grow in it.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, okay?
Yeah. You like esports?
I play some games, but I cannot say I'm doing some sports.
Okay. What sports you do?
Gym. I go to nothing actually.
So
Very
we
lazy
need
one
to
getting
join
fat.
the Rakan Belia. We are
Yeah,
your target
the
audience.
Rakan Muda, yes.
Rakan Muda.
So on Sunday after we launch, we'll ask Lucas to choose one Rakan so that Lucas can help promote that Rakan also.
okay.
And that will be good, Lucas. There will be something that is suitable for you, for every young person.
Alright, cool.
Receive like good feedback from the, or like public. What they expect the sport minister to do is actually just get the gold medal.
So
it's like we don't really care about this kind of thing.
You don't catch up.
Correct. So
You get the gold medal.
Olympic was
No.
Olympic.
No. So
Cuti.
there is the elite performance sports where they are expected to go and compete and then help Malaysia win medals. But you also have the grassroots sport. So grassroots sport is about healthy lifestyle, encouraging young and old to exercise. So that one is the entire population of Malaysian lah. So youth and sports not just looking after young people playing sports, senior citizens playing sports. That also come under Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. So we look after all kinds of sport. One of the feedback we received after the recent SEA Games, and also we have set up a high-level committee chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, together with 3 ministries, Youth and Sports, Education Ministry and Higher Education Ministry, to make sure that we standardize and we also coordinate the type of sports activities happening. Because last time, you probably have just Sekolah Kebangsaan, Sekolah Cina, but now you have a lot of private and international schools, a lot. Okay, and then you have Sekolah Tafiz, and then you have university. So you have all these different type of education system. What you want is to use sports to unite all of them. So you must have the national competition that is participated by all of them, so that your talent becomes bigger.
Alright.
Yeah. So this committee now talk about 3 main sports that we are focusing on. After SEA Games, we realized that our Sukan Tempur, that means our martial arts, like wushu, karate, taekwondo, and silat, they do very well. Malaysians, we won a lot of gold. So Sukan Gempur will be promoted in school. But before this, Sukan Tempur is known as Badan Beruniform. So they are not recorded as sports. So I found out this reform is important because, like one of the persons I know, they say that when you're young, they have asthma. So they cannot really participate in a lot of the sporting activities. So she took part in taekwondo. But taekwondo is listed as Badan Beruniform. So when she actually graduated, she cannot say that she was in sports because they just put that as Badan Beruniform. So now this is the key thing that we have changed. We say all these Sukan Tempur will now be changed and updated to become Sukan. Okay? And then number 2, olahraga. Olahraga and swimming. So if you want to go to any multi-sports, you have to make it big. You have to win a lot in olahraga and swimming for Malaysia to move up the medal ranking.
You have to collect all the talents, make the talent pool bigger.
Correct. You just want everybody to be competing, not just at the national level. You must make sure all the clubs are active. More competition. So the Prime Minister has given us 40 million grant this year, first time in our budget, matching grant to organize sports tournament and sports program, so that our athletes have a platform to compete. And at the same time, more tourists will come in. So like if we have, can you imagine if we have friendly tournaments with Singapore and Thailand and Indonesia, then the athletes can come and compete, and then our hotel industry will benefit, shopping, everybody will benefit, and then our athletes ranking will also move up. So now that's what been keeping me busy in the last 6 months, just working on all this, because I don't want to just talk about that one gold medal, even though that's what we want, the Olympic gold, to inspire the nation. But at the same time, I want the entire sports industry to grow together. Because when the sports industry grow, it's not just the sportsmen or athletes who will benefit. The Grab driver, the F&B, the hotels, everybody around this ecosystem will also benefit.
Many people go to England to watch football.
Olympic or Italy, they will go there.
There are lots of football clubs.
But it's good to know. I thought our top 3 would be badminton and then
Yeah.
diving.
No, badminton they do quite well. I mean, Malaysians generally. This is why winning that medal, winning that cup will inspire the whole nation. Badminton really became very, very super popular after Thomas Cup in the 1990s. When we won Thomas Cup, everybody imagined that they can play badminton. So that's why you can see, there's a lot of talent development coming out of badminton. So whichever sport that will do well, you will attract a lot of attention. Like Dato' Azizul, when he won the silver, a lot of people pick up cycling. Yeah. So that sport that win, so I'm hoping now that, with Wushu, Silat, all these, there will be more kids wanting to participate.
专业的手冲咖啡在马来西亚的价格不菲，为了让手冲咖啡不再是奢侈品 ，Zus Coffee 国民咖啡由此诞生。
Zus Coffee 秉持着最优原料与高水平的咖啡烘焙技术，制作出让每一名国人都能够负担得起的精品咖啡。
为了节省上班族的时间，Zus也推出了自家的 App， 让每个上班族都能够用最短的时间获取一杯香味浓郁、味道醇厚的手冲咖啡，只需要在 App 上面一键下单，并到 Zus 的门店 pick up 就可以啦，省时又方便。
而且有各种的新品咖啡，还有不限时的好康优惠 ，Zus 都会第一时间让你知道，让你在最疲惫的上半天总能够得到好惊喜。
现在还要送你免费的限量150杯咖啡，先到先得。只要 follow BBK 和 Zus Coffee 的 Insta，share 这支影片，并且把截图放在下方的链接，就有机会领取你免费的咖啡啦。
Zus Coffee， 您的国民咖啡，国民味道。
Speaking about budget just now, so we know that sport actually the most important thing is about people and money.
Yes.
So is the budget enough, or if do we have
of course
any
it's not
private
enough.
sector that want to contribute?
Good
What should they do?
Want to find some sponsor?
Yeah, good.
Ask for.
Zus Coffee. The main issue is youth and sports. Our ministry is one of the smallest ministry. Our budget is not big, about 1 billion. How much is 1 billion? Let me tell you. DBKL has the budget 3 times my budget, and DBKL looks after Kuala Lumpur. I look after the whole Malaysia, right? Selangor State Government also has a budget that is probably 4 times more than me. Selangor State Government. So we have to be very creative, and we have to make sure there's no wastage in this kind of money. So what we intend to do is, of course, to get the corporate sponsors to help adopt a sport, to promote that sport together. And also, like I talked about the industry, what we want to do is the taxation system. So I've told the Prime Minister we want to work on the taxation system to ensure people spend on sports. At the moment, right, the data that is collected is always about retail. So, how much sports shop earn in Malaysia. So that's the kind of data that is collected. So as a result, when you do your taxation, if you buy a record, you get tax deduction, right? Because that was the data that drives them to produce a tax policy like that. But imagine if I have different data that is being collected, how many parents actually spend on gymnastic training for their kids or coaching. If I have all this data collected, then I will be able to convince the government to say, now tax deduction will also apply to how much the money that you spend paying for swimming fee for your kids. So when parents can do tax deduction like that, they will be encouraged to, if you don't spend it on your kids, you have to pay the government tax anyway. So they will start taking up sports lesson for the kids. When they do that, all the coaches will benefit because they will now have more training sessions. They have the development. When that happens, our athletes who retire also have career progress. You see? So that's how I'm interested to look at the entire ecosystem and not just that one medal. So you have to look at taxation.
More people will be willing to join sport industry.
Correct. So we are very thankful to a lot of sponsors who help us. We have like Petronas, we have like CIMB, we have Milo, Bubble. All these different brand, Aeon Big, they all sponsor a lot to help different tournaments, different sports. Yeah, so we're very thankful for that.
Oh, right.
Just now we talked about the SEA Games and the result this time not so ideal. But sport is very sentimental issue for Malaysians.
Yes.
Once you didn't get a result, you'll get very angry.
Sports is something that invokes a lot of passion and emotions for people when they are watching. So like, for example, if L'Izzija loses a game, everybody feels like
We lost.
Or at the same time when they're playing, every time they go into rubber set, then, we feel like we have become expert. Oh, they shouldn't play like that. Everybody has an opinion about sports.
Yes.
So because of that, I think you will always have very divided views on whether or not this sport is doing well, this sport is not doing well. But one thing I urge, media will write whatever they want to write, but at the same time, I think we also must remember that our athletes are also a lot of young people. So that's something we are now giving training to our athletes on how can they better manage their social media, also to understand that they have now become public figures. Whether you like it or not, people are looking at them, and how can they be stronger mentally and not be affected by what they read online. Yeah, right? So you have to learn, and it's not just athletes. I think everybody who uses social media, you need to learn how to detach yourself from what you're reading.
But a lot of comments I saw, they say that our athletes, they don't have a strong mentality.
Is it true?
So many discussion, because they say, other athletes are made to go for army training, but ours don't have. That's why they can go into the court, but they don't know how to close the game. So they talk a lot about all these mental coach and all that. So what we're doing now with the Road to Goal is also to look at how we can best support them, what kind of other support we can give them to help them close the game and close it well. Yeah.
We go through your Facebook, we noted that you have visited a lot of athletes.
Yes, I try my best to actually spend time with them, whether they are winning medal or not. So one of the things I did, the SEA Games, after they lost, I spoke to those who didn't get the goal. So I gathered them and I asked them, okay, were you told why were you not able to get the goal? So to actually listen to them and to understand that actually every time you go into a sport, a competition, there is the 50% likelihood you can win or you can lose. Because in sport, you definitely have one winner and one second place, right? So it should be expected, but to actually understand if it can be avoided, what are the things that I can help mitigate or minimalize it.
What did they told you? What is the biggest challenge?
Yeah, one single athlete is made to participate in many events, and so by the time they are already very exhausted. If your talent development is not extensive, you are constantly relying on that one athlete to deliver you all the goal, then it's very tiring for that one athlete. Yes, so these are some of the comments that came in and also like badminton at that time, a lot of our professional players, the top ranking, they were all playing in different open, different tournament. They didn't participate in the SEA Games. So SEA Games, we actually sent our second batch, our pelapis, to go, so to give them exposure.
Hopefully you can get a goal.
I also
then
want...
you will be the first, minister with Olympic goal.
Yeah, I think more importantly is how that Olympic goal will actually change our children's mindset. For me, it's about the children. I want the Malaysian children to think, every time we talk about Malaysia boleh, some people, when they say Malaysia boleh, they actually is mocking it.
It's because sarcasm.
It's sarcasm. But I really want our children to believe, right, you can be the best in the world. If you put in the hard work, we actually have that talent in Malaysia. So now we are working with the Olympians, those who have competed before. We want them to come and talk to the children. So we have requested this year the Merdeka celebration. You always have the Merdeka parade. Okay, we want our Olympians to march. So I want our children to know, in 1970s you represented Malaysia in Olympic. What's Olympic? Especially after COVID, the younger generation, they have not seen a lot of this kind of, not exposed to a lot of this. So we just want kids to be excited again about being physically active.
Yes.
But all the things that you mentioned, all the revolutionary changes, it sounds very visionary, but it seems like a very long-term plan though. It wouldn't get a result in maybe in your term.
It's true, but I have to start somewhere. So you see, one of the things I want to do, I'm always very interested in reforms, so that when I leave the system, when I leave KBS, what do we leave behind? We want the ecosystem to be on autopilot mode. That means it must not be dependent on who is minister, who becomes government. Sports should be ongoing. You know, that's the reason why our road to gold is not just chaired by the minister, it's co-chaired by Olympic Council. So that in the event one thing happened to me, or you know, if any like political situation or that kind of thing, that these sports people are not affected, they can continue.
Well, one more question I want to ask, because there are some people say that our sports is actually banyak campur tangan daripada politician.
Very good question, Lucas. Okay, so you see, it's chicken and egg. Just now we talked about sports needing a lot of money.
Yes.
Okay, we actually have a lot of good people who want to enter and help transform sports, but they don't have time, number one, and also they don't have money. But a lot of established politicians who have money, they want to contribute in some of these sports associations. So a lot of people, when they're doing fundraising, they go and recruit politicians who have money to help sponsor the program. So that's how some politicians are actually involved in the sports association. Is this wrong? I cannot say it's wrong, because they actually need the money to continue. And if I cannot give them the money, I'm in no position to say, oh, you cannot get person A or person B, even though person A and person B help them with that thing. But what you want is the sports association to be able to have good governance, to be able to have more people who can contribute new ideas, new strategy to help them. So if I improve on funding, if there are more corporate sponsors, if taxation, the entire ecosystem is improved, right? Then the sport will have money. You see, sports really is dependent on your audience one. The greater the audience, the greater the sponsorship will come. Okay? Why is football so rich? That means there are a lot of fans who want, and that in that football everywhere around the world, you always have great or big audience. Malaysia is badminton. Okay, that's why badminton, our athletes are richer than other sports. There are sports that very hard to find spectator. For example, underwater hockey.
I don't even heard.
Underwater.
I never even heard.
Yeah, so we have a Malaysia underwater hockey association. And you must understand how difficult it is for them when they score a goal in the water. Their fans and supporters cannot cheer. You cannot see.
Serious? Cannot see.
How are you going to see if people score goal in the water?
Water is transparent one.
But you know the reflection and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I take the time when I get invitation, I actually go out there to understand the challenge of that particular sport. So I've gone to see traditional archery in Sabah, stacking, what are their challenges, and also senior citizens games also got. This minister, all she does is just go and visit athletes and see the events. But if I don't go and spend time with the athletes and understand their challenges, and I'm just sitting in Putrajaya, I won't be able to understand what needs to be fixed. But when I visit, I can understand, I can see the bigger picture. That's why in the last 6 months, we have not focused just on one thing, but looking at the entire ecosystem. These ecosystem things are not sexy one. This kind of reform is like, unless you are active in sports, you will...
Or else you won't know.
Otherwise, if I don't do this, you also won't know, right? So that's why. And then on top of that, you have to take care of the youth portfolio, because a lot of young people are also in sports.
So very it affect your portfolio, like you don't have a signature, no result to be bragging or...
That's why you see...
Hopefully got a gold medal.
Hopefully got a gold medal.
At the end of the day, we are responsible to our stakeholders. So who will be my stakeholders? When I leave in my 5 years, when my 5 years are up, what will the sports associations say of me in my time? Have I helped them? So what did I do to help the youth associations? So these are some of the things that maybe not everybody will be able to celebrate, but as long as I have directly engaged our stakeholders and they benefit from it, that I've done my job.
I give you one suggestion. If you do that, all the young people
tell me I try.
Yeah, they will definitely remind you. Ask them to strictly to do the PJ class.
Why people don't do PE?
Cannot because the mathematics teacher will
Always take the lesson, borrow the lesson, and never return.
Really? In school?
Never return, they
Our
borrow.
time lah, our time.
Really?
Our time.
Now also like that lah.
Okay,
I'm
so
not sure.
that's good. So I will have to, in our high-level committee, we'll have to discuss with KPM to make sure that pendidikan jasmani PE lesson means PE lesson. You must really go out there and exercise and sweat it out.
Yeah, I told you this one. We cut it to reels. Many students will share.
Yeah, we got PE class finally. How is it compared to your previous minister? Which one would you
Well, this
enjoy?
is so-
My previous ministry or the previous minister?
Ministry, sorry.
Previous ministry. Previous ministry, we look after children, women, people with disabilities and all that. It's a very emotionally heavy ministry. Like I shared with you about how when babies die, emotionally you get very affected. You go home very heavy, your emotions. Over here, I have the stress, especially SEA Games, 6 more goals. But it's a different stress compared to visiting families in a mortuary. Yeah, so but every portfolio actually has a lot of opportunities to reform one. So I take this challenge now is making sure that I stay fit. Because I'm 44 years old, I don't want people to say, youth and sports is led by an auntie. So I must make sure that I stay fit. I learn to, just to be like them.
So you play e-sport now?
Actually, I tell you, the one sport I like is I like brisk walking. Means I like walking fast, and that's something politicians can do very fast because campaign we are so used to walk market walk padang so I do very well.
A lot of journalists.
Yeah, I walk very fast, brisk walking. But there's one new thing I learned because during Ramadan that time when everybody is fasting, we also fasted. Also then at that time we lost some weight. Then after that when Hari Raya came, all the open house, then you also put back on a little bit. So now I want to lose back the ones that I put on during Raya. So I learned that now, because I'm busy, I can still exercise at home lah. So now I like the Jisoo, that Blackpink song, the flower. But I don't know how to do the dance. But what I can do is now there's a lot of K-pop aerobic, K-pop aerobic. You can watch the YouTube video. You can exercise on your own. So I have started doing that at night, but I have to off all the light because I don't want people to see me. And I just dance lah, and nobody can see when people like. So no, I cannot. The Jisoo thing, it's not easy when like that. But very hard. In my head, I think I can do it, but when I actually put together, I cannot coordinate my movement.
But you're being blamed for, borrow the stadium for this kind of concert though.
Concerts, yeah. The other thing is, Perbadanan Stadium, we look after the venues, the stadiums, and mostly stadiums, now hot story lah, Coldplay, Taylor Swift going to Singapore.
Not Malaysia.
So, one of the collaboration that we have started talking is also to talk to the state government of Sarawak. Sarawak is very passionate about tourism activities.
Oh, yeah, true.
Dato Sri Karim is very proactive in doing this. And so we spoke about, if there are concerts that are probably cannot be done here in Kuala Lumpur, how about doing it in Kuching? So we want that kind of collaboration. And at the same time also, our stadiums are really for sports and also for entertainment. But Bukit Jalil is very heavily used because a lot of people want to book it because a big stadium like Bukit Jalil, where else?
It's
the second one don't
have.
Yeah, so that's why this battle sports or concert. Actually, we can coexist. Let's coexist.
You have to having the concert to get the money to support the sports.
Both are important. Can share the venue.
Alright.
Oh, we're gonna arrive in KBS already.
Any words for our audience?
Do exercise.
I think they are your stakeholder lah.
Yes. Just like a lot of young people, sometimes I also have this mindset. I cannot exercise. I don't have time. But it will come a time in our life where we know ourselves that we have to change certain lifestyle, certain habits, and we have to be fit. One thing I realized about exercising is that after you exercise, you actually feel good. You feel happy. Your hormone, you really feel happy lah. And so when you do exercise, do it for yourself. Don't do it for other people. And because now of YouTube and there's so many different kind of aerobic classes that you can do online. You know, just do it at home in the comfort of your own space. Because Sukan Selamat also we launched lah, because we talk about safe sport sexual harassment, all that we don't want.
That's important.
Yeah, so we launched that in March, and now we got all the coaches, the gym, all the sports association, everybody to sign, and we want to teach the athletes this is sexual harassment, or this is verbal abuse, this is abuse. You don't have to tolerate it. Because times have changed lah. So we want to create that awareness how to report. Then the other thing is Screen Besar lor. So remember the Jay Chow concert that we had in December. What we have done is we decided, okay, because we don't have enough seats in the stadium, let's just create big screen elsewhere in Malaysia so that people can follow. So now every time there's an important match for Malaysia, we will organize big screen, and it's now quite popular because not everybody has Astro at home.
Okay.
And not everybody can watch it at home, but sometimes they just like to watch it in Mamak with all their friends.
Yes.
So we now have a lot of these big screen facilities everywhere, so that Malaysians can have this recreational time together to come out and just. It was quite encouraging to see they come at Dataran Merdeka, Putrajaya. They just put carpet, like picnic like that, and at night they just watch. Ministry cannot do it on our own without the support of the sports association. That's why we must have a good working relationship together. Let's do things together so that it will benefit our athletes. The most important thing is all the stakeholders must not fight, so that it will be peaceful for our athletes to practice and to compete.
I heard a lot of rumors that they fight a lot.
You mean the sports association?
Yes.
I mean, politics can exist in everywhere. Like family also got politics. Corporates also got politics. Any association also can have all kinds of spaces also can have politics lah. Yeah, it's about how you manage it.
Alright. Cool.
Okay. Good. So welcome to Putrajaya. This is where. Have you been to Kementerian Belia and Sukan?
No.
Okay.
Anything interesting? You have a football court in your office?
No, I don't have football. I got a bicycle that I bought when I became minister, but until now I haven't used it yet.
It's like my gym card.
Yeah. But I said I冇掛衫啦，我冇擠衫嗰度啦。Handbag, yeah. Okay, so this is Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we have arrived.